Hey y'all, how you doing? So, first of all, let me say it's been a little bit since I've made a video, and I just want to let you know I'm okay. Ain't nobody hoodooing me. Ain't nobody put the root on me. It's just that this is the time of year when my energy dips. Um, One of my teachers told me that, and you'll probably notice this in your own life, around your birthday, your energy peaks. But what follows that peak is always a dip because energy flows, in cycles. So my birthday was just over a little bit of a month ago, and so that peak is always followed by a dip for me, and I just have low energy and I get up in the morning early. I get a leg up on getting my 10,000 steps a day. I go into work all day, come home, straighten up, make my supper, and then I have no energy to do anything. If I sit and try to read a book, I'll fall asleep. I'll try to watch a TV show, I can't really focus. So sometimes I'll crawl up in my comfortable chair and take a little nap, and I'll tell Siri to wake me up in about an hour just to get me, through the night without falling asleep too long and then being up all night and really screwing up my schedule. So if you really pay attention to your personal energy, your biorhythms, you'll notice there are certain times of the year when you have an abundance of energy and certain times of the year when your energy dips and you just lack focus and motivation to do anything. Um, so with that being said, today's video is going to be about what I call my cuttings. And it's a creative exercise. It's something I do for creativity, something I do to manifest goals, and sometimes something I do to remember or memorialize events that occurred in my life or people that I met. Um, this is based on the work of William S. Burroughs. He was the writer of Animal Farm and several other books and things. He was very interested in chaos magic, and one of his things he used was called the cut up technique. And the cut up technique is where they would take a page out of a book, and maybe even a page out of one book and another page out of another book. And what they do is they would cut this down the middle this way and across this way, and then sort of rearrange it, and it would create sort of a new story or a new thought process. And this is a technique that he used to help him write certain books. You can do it to write poetry. Again, as a creative exercise. Sometimes, if you do it as a creative exercise, um, um, it'll tell you something about yourself, what your state of mind is. It's almost like drawing mandalas of your dreams, or drawing a picture, only you're doing it with words. And so the way I use these, what you're going to need is just some old book of no consequence, right? You don't want to be tearing up your Bibles. You don't want to be tearing up any valuable books, first edition, first printing, just some old book of no consequences. And what I do is I use a little bit of bibliomancy. For those of you who don't know, bibliomancy is where you think of a question, you open a book at random, put your finger on a page, and then you sort of base your answer on whatever word or sentence you do. So what I do is, let's say you want to manifest something. First of all, you start out, what is your goal? What do you want to manifest? Is it a new job? Is it a raise? Is it a new house? Is it better health? Is it a lover? Whatever it is you want. And then what I do is I'll just close my eyes, open the book at random, and I'll just tear out a page. I'm going to do it. I know book lovers, some of y'all, this is going to kill you. And then what I do is I'll take this page and I'll just read it over, and I will look for phrases, first of all, phrases that jump out at me, and can relate to whatever it is I'm trying to manifest. And then what I'll do is I'll cut out those phrases. And I'll do this with several pages, right? And as I cut out these phrases, I'll put them in front of me, in groups. And then when I feel like I have enough, what I will do is I'll just sort of rearrange them on the table or a flat surface until it sort of flows and tells a little bit of a story. And then what I'll do is that's when I'll go back and I'll pull out single words. That's why I said I focus on phrases at first, because anybody could just take a book and cut out all the individual words they want and make it say anything. I focus on phrases first. I get them into to where I rearrange them until it makes a story based on whatever it is I want to manifest. And then I go back and I pull out individual words in order to make the story flow better and make sense. And I call these filler words. They might be like and, but, the, or him, she, them, or specific words depending on what it is I want to manifest. And so, again, you can do this for a specific goal, or you can do it as just a creative exercise with no theme in mind. Just open a book, tear a page out at random, cut out phrases that speak to you on some level, put them in front of you when you feel like you have enough, rearrange them, move them around, and then go back, put in your filler words to make it flow more easily, and then you have your cutting. And I'm going to share a couple of cuttings with you. Now, those of you who know me know I love books. Even though I tore a page, I love books. And one of my things I've been wanting to do is, or a little dream I've had is, I would love to go to the thrift store and find another witch's handwritten Book of Shadows or grimoire. And so, with that in mind, I created this cutting. And what I did, oh, by the way, so I glue it. I like to glue them on these note cards. Depending on how many words and phrases you do, you may have to do it on a piece of paper. I like to keep them short and keep them on these little cards. And then this sort of becomes your petition. You can burn this under a candle, tuck it in a mojo bag. You may want to have to photocopy it so that it doesn't get damaged, and then put this one up to save. You could, do all kinds of things with the paper. But this one, I'm going to hold it up to the camera, but then I'm going to read it for you. And this was for the goal of finding another witch's handwritten Book of Shadows. I called it the Magic Book. There you can see it. And now I'm going to read it to you. The title was The Magic Book, and it goes, The Book, a branch from the tree of knowledge, a large book magically sent from out of nowhere, full of possibilities, with inlaid binding, golden covers, and handmade notepaper, filled with poetry, notes, and numerous exquisite line drawings. The magic of the earth, sun, and moon, mysterious powers of the elements, of frogs, tadpoles, rabbits, and dogs, of wildflowers, bluebells, and daffodils, baby's breath and parsley, a spell to read and make prophecies, for romantic love, to make and keep money, to get back a man, to make lucky things, forewarning, to work the weather, to see and to know, to travel and scatter illness, to make a miracle. So that was my cutting for the goal of finding another witch's handwritten Book of Shadows. And lo and behold, I went to the thrift store and I found this. It's called Spellbook of the Good Witch of Pendle. And it's a recreation by, it says Reliable Magic for Success in All Circumstances by Joyce Froome. And this is a writer, I think she's also a historian, who basically recreated, based on historical evidence, the type of spells and magic a witch of this time would have practiced. And the interesting feature about this book is, if you notice, look at it, it looks handwritten. Obviously this is some kind of font that they use, but the whole book is in this sort of handwritten font, and it's filled with all kinds of spells and rituals that you can do. And so that was one cutting. Another cutting I did, and this is one that I did it where I just didn't think about a thing. I just sort of looked through the book and pulled out whatever words and phrases came to me. And this one's titled Magic. I'm going to hold it up to the thing again. And then I'm going to read it to you. This one's called Magic. And it says, Magic is will and intent, a set of words to say, the sounds to bend the magic to the will, words or a magic thing to do. Actions, will forced into a magic channel, and put what you want at the end of that channel. The magic formed will return. Try a spell, believe. Okay? So that was one I did without any type of goal or thing in mind. And then I told you, sometimes I do these where I want to memorialize or commemorate someone I met or something that happened to me. And this one might be a little embarrassing, but, won't be the first time someone laughed at me. I call this one Mr. Johnson, and it's about a guy I met 2 years ago. It says, Mr. Johnson, let me tell you about my little daddy. He was blessedly handsome. The first evening star twinkled in his brown eyes, and that package, it was large. The man, he was hung with the body of the god Thor. He seemed like a dream. I'll have that man, or I'll be damned. Come to me, I invited him. Fear of rejection. I'll come over, he said. He stripped, sinking down into a chair. I kissed his meat, and the beast looked up, and he sighed. Then white pudding came rushing out. Thanks, he said. He treated me like a friend. I was happy. I was in love. And then he was gone. Anyway, that is 3 different cuttings. As you can see, I have many, many more here. Again, this is something that you can do in order to manifest something that you want in your life. You can do it as a creative exercise. Just do it and see what you create, a poem or whatever. Or you can do it to commemorate something that happened to you. You can also do it to make a little short story, a fantasy, if you will. And it doesn't even have to be a fantasy that you want to actually happen. Because there are many times we fantasize about things that we don't really want to actually happen. Or how many times have you said, hey, have you thought about killing someone that you hate? Now, it's something that you fantasize about, but you probably would not do in reality. So this is a really great exercise to do while you're, sitting at home in quarantine or just bored and looking for something to do. This is the magic of words. This is, again, it's like you're painting a picture with words. So I encourage you all to, give this a try and let me know how you do. If you want to look at some of my other cuttings, you can check out my Instagram page. I've been photographing some of these. I'm on Instagram at Carolina_Dean. Anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video, and until next time, make good decisions, do good things, and be good people.